Hello, my name is Noah Elkreef, and today I want to help you to stop being violent, aggressive, or mean towards people, lovers, animals, children, or whoever or whatever else. So in this moment, I'm going to use what I'm going through in this moment to support you to deal with whatever you're going through. Give a little bit of a blueprint or a pathway in how to handle when anger arises. So if you can feel me right now, I feel quite angry. I feel really angry in this moment, and it might seem trivial what I'm about to share, but it's activated anger and violence in me, and so therefore I want to show myself in it and show the pathway out of it, so that you might use this pathway yourself next time you're feeling angry, potentially aggressive or violent. So I might have to laugh when I say it, but one of my cats, I have 3 cats at this moment, has just pooped on my floor multiple times. And I just cleaned it up. And this is the first time it's ever happened, kind of. The last few days, my girlfriend brought in 2 cats about a week ago, and my cat has never pooped on the floor, and there's been little poops here and there, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt that a little bit fell off after the litter box. But this just now was 2 full poops. I cleaned it up, and then I was just looking around some more. I found another one underneath my bed. So I feel really, in this moment, I feel quite angry, like I want to throw them off the balcony, or I want to kick them out and never let them in, or I want to yell at them, or perhaps even that I want to hit them. Like, I feel this anger inside of me that partially wants to come out with aggression. And the first thing I want to do about that in sharing it is that it's not wrong that these feelings come up in us. It doesn't make me bad or a terrible person that these feelings come up in me, or even these visuals. Like, I want to hurt these little kittens. They're only 4 or 5 months old. Yeah, because in order to work through this, we first have to not judge ourselves for having it. We have to be really honest about what's moving through us, that I desire to be mean, I desire to be aggressive, I desire to be violent, or it seems normal and appropriate. Yeah? Maybe it feels like they deserve that. Maybe when you're listening to me, you might think they deserve that. They pooped, they need to learn their lesson. Maybe you need to kick them out of the house, have them outside. Maybe you shouldn't let them in. Maybe you should yell at them. I don't know, some sort of punishment. Yeah, so we want to acknowledge where we're at. What do I feel towards someone else? Not judge it, that this is just what's coming up in me, and then recognize, does my response feel normal, appropriate, helpful, good in some way? Because a lot of the time when we're feeling aggressive, controlling, mean, any of these towards harshness towards others, we can feel really justified in it. We can feel, I should be, they deserve punishment. Now, the first thing I need to say is that nobody ever deserves punishment. Nobody ever deserves to be treated unkindly. Nobody ever deserves to be treated with violence or harshness, ever. I don't care what they did to you first. Yeah, the first thing that comes up to me when I say that is the old sort of Gandhi quote, I think, which is, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Like, even if somebody, takes out your eye, blinds you, it doesn't make it right for you to blind them. You're still acting from harshness, from meanness, not from love and from kindness. So what others do to you and what you do to others are 2 very separate things. So even if someone steals from me, it doesn't mean I want to steal from them. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it good. Yeah, it doesn't make it heart-centered. It doesn't make it authentic. So the first question we have to really look at ourselves is, how do I want to live? Like, what are my values? What is my integrity? Yeah? Do I want to teach others a lesson? Do I want to make sure it's always fair and equal, that if someone does something to me, they deserve something back? Or do I want to live from love, from kindness, from softness, from relaxation? What matters to me? What do I stand for in this life? Who am I? What really, really matters to me? And I know for myself, I stand for love. I stand for integrity. I stand for kindness. I stand for authenticity. I stand for intuitive movement. Intuitive action. Yeah, and I find in my own self, anytime I feel harsh, and you can feel it in my voice right now, which I'm allowing to be here, I have harshness in me. I have tension in me. And anytime I act from this sort of tension, it's not coming from my center, it's coming from a trigger. It's coming from an emotional activation. It's coming from pain. So my commitment to myself, my integrity for myself, is to not operate, to not treat others, to not talk from my trigger, from my pain, because then it's a projection. You understand? I'm treating others based on my pain and what happened to me, as opposed to what I really feel is right, true, and in alignment with my authentic self. You understand? How do you want to act? It's very, very tempting sometimes when we feel this harshness that we want to go for it. But I encourage you, the first most important thing to do is anytime you feel tense, anytime you feel harsh, take a breather. Go away. Sometimes when we feel harsh, the thing we want to do more than anything else is let someone know. Whoever we think is the perpetrator or did this to us, let them know. Tell them what they did to us. Tell them how wrong they are. Punish them. Give them what they deserve. Make it even. Don't. That's a huge movement. I need to let them know. I can't let them walk all over me. I have to stand up for myself. No. Stop. Whenever you feel tense, whenever you feel you have to let them know, that's the time not to let them know. To not do anything, to walk away, to take space. There will be time to stand up for yourself, but it is never the time to stand up for yourself when you're feeling harsh, triggered, intense, violent, aggressive, or I need to tell them. That is not the time to speak. So the first most important thing to do in order to stop being violent, aggressive, harsh, or mean is anytime you feel that tension in your heart, if you're not feeling softness in your heart, don't talk to others. Don't talk to your child. Don't tell your wife. Don't tell your boyfriend. Don't punish your pet. Don't do any of these things when you're feeling harsh. Leave. Take care of your feelings. And I'll show you how to deal with that harshness, to deal with that anger, to deal with that emotional trigger, so you can come back afterwards and then feel, do I need to say something? Do I need to let them know that how they treated me hurt me? That how they treated me felt unkind or disrespectful, or I don't want you to treat me that way anymore. And if you continue to, I'm not going to stay in this relationship, or I'm going to take something away from you if it's the kids, or whatever you feel you need to do. But it has to come from love. You can stand up for yourself from love. To be loving, to be accepting doesn't mean getting walked all over. You can say no from love, not from harshness. Sometimes no, don't do that is a form of manipulation where we're trying to scare others into never doing the same thing again. And there's a different no, which is no, I don't want that. And then we give them the space to decide and feel what they need to do for themselves. You understand the difference? It is never our job to intimidate others into changing their behavior. That's manipulative, harsh, unloving, and it won't feel good in your system, and it damages the relationship you have with others, whether that's a child, a lover, or anyone else. Clear? So let's move on to what to do about it. So the first step we've just established is anytime you feel harsh, aggressive, mean coming on, and you need to say something, you need to stand up for yourself, don't. Take a break. Walk away. Even if it triggers your partner, even if it triggers someone else, walk away. Take a break. Deal with your intensity. Get it cooled down before you go back. So the next question is, how do I deal with my intensity? And there's two major ways to do it that come to me, at least in this moment. The first one is to let it out. To let out your intensity in a healthy way. Yeah, so if I'm feeling angry, it's like, ah! What the hell? How could they do that to me? Like, let it out. Why do they talk to me like that? Why do they treat me like what? Why do they fucking poop on my floor like that? Let out your anger without anyone being around. Hit pillows. Scream. Go nuts. Yeah, jump up and down. Do push-ups. Let that energy move. Let it out. When we have anger, that's the fight response. Yeah, which means it's a big energy coming through your system that needs to come out. And the misunderstanding is we think it needs to come out towards whoever we think was the perpetrator against us. It doesn't. It never does. Stop. Stop. You need to let it out on your own, in your own space, in a healthy way. You're allowed to express your anger, your rage, your violence, visually, physically, mentally, energetically, as long as it's not hurting anyone else. So sometimes we think we have to come back to kindness, to just be kind, to be soft. But then when we do it like that, we suppress our power, we suppress our strength, and we can let ourselves be walked all over and lie to ourselves that we're okay with behavior from others that we're not. You understand? So you've got to let out your anger, let out the aggression in whatever way you need to. Sometimes we need to do it physically, like hitting a pillow, punching the air, punching our hand, screaming. And sometimes we can visualize ourselves doing that. So you can close your eyes and just imagine like hitting someone, or imagine punching pillows, or imagine breathing out fire. Like you can imagine letting it out in some way, that like you're like the Hulk exploding. You're a fire breathing dragon letting out the intensity, letting out the heat. So you're imagining on every in-breath, you can imagine sucking up this intensity, and every out-breath letting it out. Until you start to calm down, until your nervous system starts to calm down, so you feel more safe where you are, more relaxed where you are. Is that clear? The second part of it, which is probably what I'm going to deal with, maybe what I'll show you in this moment, is to allow your vulnerability. We have to get to vulnerability. So why am I angry right now? Why am I angry right now? And notice, as soon as I ask that question, I start to soften. Why am I angry? My cats, one of them, pooped a few times on my floor. Notice I'm starting to feel a different emotion now. Starting to feel hurt. I feel really, the word that comes to me is taken advantage of. I feed you. I take care of you. I'm so nice to you. I let you in my house. And then this is how you treat me? What did I do to deserve this? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something not good enough? Why are you doing this to me? And I notice as I'm speaking this and feeling this, I feel like I'm being punished. Like I did something wrong and I'm being punished. And that they don't care about me. They're just using me for the food, for the petting, for my house. And they don't give a shit about me. And just letting myself feel that for a minute or two, whatever that was, and allowing myself to acknowledge what it hits inside of me decreases the charge. You feel how I'm speaking now? Different. Doesn't have to be like a big thing, but this second part, this second strategy is to come back to vulnerability. How do I really feel? How do I really feel with whoever did whatever they did to me? How does it make me feel? A lot of the time it's about our self-worth. So if they did that to me, it means they don't care about me. And if they don't care about me, it means I'm worthless. I'm no good. I did something wrong. And that hurts. That's painful. Yeah, so instead of responding because I don't want to feel my pain, so the anger, the flight response, the violence, the meanness is a protective response. So why do we have fight response when we feel in danger? In this situation, in most situations, with friends, lovers, children, pets, it's not that we're actually in danger. The reason our fight response comes is because we're trying to protect us from the emotional pain that feels physically dangerous, because it is physically painful sometimes. You understand? So when you're angry, the vast majority of the time, you're protecting yourself from feeling the pain of unworthiness or loneliness. And so what we have to do is move towards the pain. Sometimes like we get this image in our society, maybe from old TV shows and movies, like the courageous, brave man or woman stands up for themselves and yells at the person or hits them or whatever. But really, the deep courage, that's the easy thing to do in some way, the old paradigm thing to do. The real courageous, brave act is to go towards our pain, just like you saw me do. Sometimes it's the scariest thing to feel our pain, to feel worthless, to feel so unbelievably inadequate, to feel like there's something wrong with me, to feel like my own child hates me or doesn't respect me, to feel like my own lover doesn't value me and doesn't care about me and thinks everything I do is wrong. It hits our heart. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to activate that. Yeah, we're going to go towards this pain so that it doesn't come out in a harsh, violent, or aggressive way. Yeah? So I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself, how does it make me feel when they treated me like that, when they did that, when they talked to me like that? How does it make me feel? And see if you can get access to that pain. Like, ooh, it hurts. It makes me feel uncared for. It makes me feel like I'm not enough. It makes me feel like I'm bad. And let yourself break open into that. It's safe to feel that pain. To feel hurt, to feel inadequate, to feel broken, to feel unlovable. And when you start to feel it, sometimes if we've done this type of work before, tears start flowing, and sometimes we just feel the pain and we don't know what to do with it. So what I invite you to do, if you can't cry, if you don't feel safe enough to cry, is to just imagine yourself crying. Maybe look at yourself from the third person perspective, or a younger version of you, and just imagine them crying. Just look at the younger you crying. Look at yourself crying. Just visualizing ourselves crying works in a very similar or almost identical way sometimes to an actual cry, because it's energetically releasing the tears, which is releasing the pain. And you can watch other videos I have about unworthiness and self-worth to go further into that. And after we let out some of this pain, the next question is sometimes it's enough to just release the pain of unworthiness, of hurt, but sometimes we have to disbelieve something. And what I mean by that is sometimes this pain is formed by a false conclusion. If they don't like me, it means I must be bad. Are you sure? Question that assumption. If they treat me like that, it must mean everything I do is wrong. Are you sure? If they treat me like that, it means they don't love me. If they treat me like that, it means they don't respect me. Are you sure? Right? You see how I took it personally. Automatically in my system, it's like it's not like I consciously believe my cats are taking advantage of me, using me, or trying to punish me, or disrespecting me. It has nothing to do with anything. It's not reality. But my system automatically responds that way because of programs and false beliefs I had during my childhood, or perhaps were passed down from my parents. You understand? So we need to catch these beliefs. Like, okay, if my cats poop on the floor, does that really mean they don't respect me? Does it really mean they don't love me? No. Okay, so maybe that can lighten it. Even if they don't love me, even if they don't like me, even if they are being disrespectful, does that mean I'm bad or not good enough or unworthy in some way? No. So we're questioning the assumption, one, if they treated me that way, am I sure it means they don't love me or respect me? And two, if they don't love me or respect me in this moment, does that mean I'm bad, unworthy, or not good enough? Because it's possible that just because they treated you that way, it doesn't mean they don't respect you or love you. And it's guaranteed, no matter how someone else views you, it doesn't mean you're bad, unworthy, or not good enough, right? If they don't like a movie, it doesn't make the movie bad. If they don't like a particular food, it doesn't mean the food is bad. It's just their preference, just what's going on in them. And anytime anyone treats us disrespectfully or unkindly, it's just because they're in pain and confused, never because we're bad or deserve it. You understand that? I think I need to say one more thing about this. A lot of the time we end up being aggressive, violent, or mean towards others because we were programmed that that's appropriate or okay. And not in every case, but in many cases. So for many of us, my age or older, and perhaps even still younger, it was quite normal and considered acceptable for our parents to yell at us, hit us, spank us, punish us, send us to our room. So it was sort of like they tried to teach us through punishment, which is absolutely horrible, unacceptable, not kind, not appropriate, and you never deserved it. And so when our parents are trying to teach us how to behave through punishment, then it's only natural that we're going to try to treat people in our life how to treat us and how to behave through punishment. So if our partner isn't kind to us or does something we don't like, well, how are we going to change that? Through punishment. If our kid doesn't do what we want them to do, how are we going to change them? Through punishment. So it's for many of the people that come to me for help, they don't realize they're doing something wrong a lot of the time. A huge portion of my job in one-on-one sessions is to make people aware of, they're coming to me for one issue, but I have to make them aware of 10 others because they're not aware of how they're treating themselves and others. Because we're treating ourselves harshly and treating others harshly through punishment because it's so normal we don't even know what's bad or wrong. Yeah, but it is unacceptable, it's wrong, it's unkind, and yeah, stop doing it. It doesn't make you bad for doing it, but it is wrong to do it. You understand? So it's about, put simply, no matter what anyone does, a child, a lover, a friend, a cat, they never deserve to be treated harshly or unkindly. We can discipline them if we need to, a child, a lover in a sense, from love. So I might say if someone does something to me that was really, really harsh, like let's say someone yells at me and like takes something from me, right? That's a friend or a lover or a cat or whatever. I want to deal with my pain and then tell them, I don't like it when you do that. Don't do that. And if you keep doing that, I'm not going to spend time with you anymore. Yeah, so we can say it clear and with discernment and strength without it coming from a closed heart. So basically, if our heart is closed, we're coming from pain. And if we're coming from pain, it's never coming from our own authentic way of being. Yeah. So, if you're treating others meanly, harshly, aggressively, violently, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you, and you deserve to forgive yourself. But the easiest way to forgive yourself is to stop doing it. Sometimes we keep punishing ourselves and blaming ourselves for it because we think blaming ourselves and punishing ourselves for it will help us to not do it again. But if you've been doing it enough, you know that doesn't help. No matter how badly we treat ourselves, no matter if we yell at someone and then tell ourselves I'm a terrible person, I'm horrible, I'm bad, I'm no good, that doesn't stop us from yelling in the future because it doesn't address the cause of why we were yelling in the first place. It just adds more pain on top of us, which makes us more unhappy, which makes it more likely we're going to treat others unkindly in the future. So take responsibility for why you're treating others harshly. You don't need to blame yourself or treat yourself badly or feel ashamed of it. Just take responsibility for it and do the best you can to stop doing it. Sometimes it can be really hard. I know from my own experience. So, good luck. I hope it was helpful, and feel free to let me know anything you feel like it in the comments. Bye.